buddy. Hi folks, my name's Robert Earl. This is Cascade the Wonder Dog, because people wonder what the hell he does around here. And we're out at my little ranch called the Eco Ranch in far west Texas. The Eco Ranch is just a small 20-acre piece of land that we bought very, very inexpensively out here in Terlingua. Terlingua is just north of Big Bend National Park in the middle of nowhere. And we built our homestead here by hand, my wife and I, over the last 8 years. Now, I have some 150 videos online about how I built the place. Some are funny and campy. I have a dry Midwestern sense of humor. And some of them are really instructional. They're designed to teach you stuff. But lately we've had a rash of people. Last summer into fall, it's October 29th, I think. Maybe it's the 30th today. We've had a rash of people that have packed up and come down here with no skills, no money, no nothing. And I want to talk to you about that. If you're somebody that's interested in off-grid life, tiny home living, by the way, a tiny home is just another name for a homemade trailer. But I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that. Now what I'm going to do is as I shoot this, is I'm going to move just from spot to spot on our property and what we've built. Not going to talk about our stuff. You can look at it in the background, but do listen to what I have to say, because it might save you an awful lot of time, an awful lot of money, an awful lot of embarrassment. And seriously, if you've got kids, dogs, or very little desert experience, what I have to say could save your life. Debbie and I started this journey 8 years ago. I was 56 years old at the time, and I still needed to work. Now, I was badly injured several years ago and spent almost 3 years unable to do a whole lot of work. But we've been working on this place for 8 years based on what income we had from the job I had, and because of the accidents, get used to that. Because of the accidents, I was forced into retiring on disability. I am 100% disabled because I've had some damage to my lungs, and I can't work a normal job because of that, and also my legs. But that hasn't stopped me from doing the work as I can. When I get tired, I just rest. But it's been 8 years, this project. I've still got 2 more years to go. Now, I'll be 65 this coming May, so I'll be 67 when I'm done. Sounds good. If an old man like me can do this, anybody can, right? Wrong. So in terms of promoting this area, making it look enticing and interesting to those of you, and I hope there's a lot of you, because you are the wave of the future. Those of you who want to discover that there's more to life than being a rampant consumer. More to life than, there's more satisfaction to life than buying the latest fill in the blank, showing it off to your friends, and then having television or some kind of advertising tell you that there's a new something else you need to buy. Rampant consumerism is really one of the problems we have today with the whole of society, at least American society. That and this horrible concern you have for your credit score and this new thing called life debt. A lot of you are looking for something else. You're craving something else. There's something primal urging you to do something different than buy, buy, sell, sell. Is the nearest iPhone 272 out? If it is, I want to buy it. Something's driving you to more. And that more is to work with your hands, to feel like you've done something. As Dave Ramsey says, by the way, look him up. As Dave Ramsey says, go out, kill something, drag it home, and eat it. That's a real satisfaction. Look, I hunted, I killed, we can eat today. Look, I built, we can live. So a lot of you are searching for that, and that's absolutely wonderful. But a lot of you, most of you, are coming and trying to enter this unprepared. You're trying to come and do this without adequate preparation, knowledge, or resources. Now notice I didn't say money, I said resources, because resources are skills. Now, I've been told that myself and one blogger in particular in this area, but there's several other people, I'm not picking on him, and I always pick on myself, but he and I are the ones that are responsible for attracting an awful lot of people here. And, you know, this rash of people that we've had come have been grossly unprepared in terms of zero skills. And one that I can think of came with money, but he wasted it all and then gave up and went home because the desert beat him. Another one showed up literally at our front door on Friday, and that kind of got me thinking and made me want to do this video. He showed up on Friday in a 17-year-old SUV with about $1,000 to his name, 5 children, 2 dogs, and a pregnant wife. He had bought property from an online broker. Now, the code for online broker is real estate scam artist. If it's an online realtor, you can be sure of one thing. He's after your money, not your best interests. He bought it from that guy, and then he said to me, well, he's an online broker. He's got to be honest. Oh, my goodness. Couldn't even find his property. Now, he left here on Friday, and I don't know what happened. I'm hoping that he went back home to get his ducks more in a row. But let me talk to you some more about that and about coming to any area, but particularly this area, unprepared, unskilled, and without resources. You know, when you see my videos or you read that guy's blog or see some of the other videos people put out, you say, oh, hey, that looks great. I can do that. I can certainly do that. And it does look good. And if you were working in your backyard or at the campsite in, say, northern Michigan or Indiana or upstate New York, yeah, sure, you could do it. But where I'm sitting right now, I'm 5 miles from the main road. 5 miles from the nearest dirt road down what we call ranch roads. Now, I'm also a short distance from a county road. But the point is that it's a long way to a paved road. In this area, the soils we have out here, when it rains, our roads can get as slick as black ice. Now that means that I'm stuck when it rains. Well, when I was working, I had to walk that 5 miles and depend on my boss to drive all the way up a 34-mile round trip for him to come up and pick me up so I could go and I could work. Now, either I walked out or I didn't work, and luckily he was willing to pick me up. But that's one of the things that we have out here, is that the roads can be an issue only when it rains, and it is a desert, and it doesn't rain that much. But it doesn't take that much rain to get your boss pissed off at you, if you have a boss. That's the other issue. If you talk to the men out here, you'll find that almost every one of them are a handyman, a bartender, or a cook. Every one of them. Now, we've all heard the term cutting the pie smaller. You get a pie this big and you put it in 4 pieces and everybody has a big old piece. But you take that same pie and cut it into 27 pieces and nobody gets much of anything. And that's kind of what goes on here with the handymen and the cooks and the bartenders. What I'm getting at is you folks come out here because you're having a hard time with whatever you do. So I'll come out there and I'll be a handyman. I'll do odd jobs. Well, hey, wait in line. So if you're unskilled, that's an issue. That's a problem. If you don't have the skills, if you don't have something the area could need. Well, what does the area need? I don't know. Look into niche marketing, find a niche, and fill it. If there isn't a niche, create one if it's possible. But we don't need another restaurant, we don't need another bar, we don't need another bartender, we don't need another chef, we don't need another cook, we don't need another dishwasher, we don't need another river guide, and we don't need another handyman. So if your point is to move from one place to another, from wherever it is you are to the south end of Brewster County where Terlingua and Studi Butte is, where there's 700 people living here, and you're going to be what all these other people are, you're going to run into a problem. And believe me, when you look around the landscape here, the landscape of Terlingua Ranch is littered with people that built a little cabin, a tiny house, that's the catchphrase now, or brought in a container or a travel trailer and abandoned it because it was too hard. Now, you don't want to do that. Yeah, but I've done my research. I've done my due diligence. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grow my own food. I'm going to grow things hydroponically. I'm going to grow things aquaponically. Great. We get 12 inches of rainfall a year in a good year out here. Sometimes it'll go 8, 9, 10 months without raining. Now, it doesn't do that often, but it can go that way. And we're in our dry season now. We very much, from now, which is almost Halloween, until the second week of May, we may not get any rain, or if we do, we'll get a 1/4 inch. Now, water, after 8 years here, water has been my biggest issue. Now, that's no surprise to some people, but I actually thought power would be my biggest issue. But water's my biggest issue. I solved it, and I don't have an issue with water. But it is for you if you don't live near water. If you buy water, it's 10 cents a gallon. If you say, well, I'll just drill a well good luck. A well can go anywhere from 50 feet to 700 feet at $40, $50 a foot to have drilled, and there's no guarantee of hitting water. And if you hit water, we don't have an aquifer running under here. This isn't like Death Valley where you've got an ocean underneath you, or the Sahara Desert where you've got more water than all the Great Lakes underneath you. You don't have much water underneath you. You got a little pocket of prehistoric water, and when you hit that water and pump it out, it's gone. And the Studi Butte Terlingua Water Department is having that issue right now. Oh, they're saying it's pumping stations and it's this and it's that, but it's the water. And once you suck that water out, it's gone. So you have to figure out what are you going to do with water. So how are you going to grow your stuff hydroponically if you don't have the hydro to ponic it with? Okay, well, I'll plant in the ground and I'll water with gray water. Oh, that's fine, but you have to have water to create gray water. I use gray water. I do all these things. Watch my videos. There's 150 of them. I'm not going to get into that. But I watch YouTube videos when I want to learn something here. I research on the internet, watch the videos, then I learn and I adapt it to what I can do here. And that's how I've built this place that you're seeing behind me. The thing is, the plants, the animals, the livestock, they don't read the books. Now what I learned here is if I put a garden in the ground, shade cloth or no shade cloth, if that ground temperature hits 105 degrees, my plants don't fruit. In other words, I get beautiful foliage, but I don't get fruit. So there goes the ponic in your hydroponic if your temperature gets up to 105 degrees. Okay, well, I'll build a greenhouse. Great, great. You got to keep that greenhouse cool and warm. I'm building a greenhouse, and that'll work. But you got to build the greenhouse, and that takes resources, which comes to the next thing I want to talk about is resources. Resources can mean many things. It can mean material, it can mean money. In my case here, it means skill. You need the skill and the money, but you need the skill to be able to live out here. You need to be a carpenter, electrician, a plumber. You need to be a stonemason. You need to know how to do all those things. You need to have some money. I struggle monthly with money here, and I'm not done building. Yes, I'm on Social Security, but I still get enough money, actually more money than a lot of people earn here in a month off of my Social Security, because with so many handymen, cooks, and chefs around here, they don't have a need to pay you a lot of money. So you don't get a lot of money. So you need the resources. Skill is the resource. Now what skills do you need around here? We can use carpenters, real good skilled tradesmen. Now the thing is, if you're a skilled tradesman, you're used to 20 bucks an hour, you're going to get 10, 12, 18. Actually, there's some people that pay 16 and 20. And one guy in particular that I'm thinking of, I believe he said he paid 16 bucks an hour and he advertised and couldn't get anybody to come and help him. Now that's not a guy that can pound a nail or saw a couple pieces of wood. He's talking about somebody that knows their carpentry, knows their electric, knows their plumbing. So skilled tradesmen, absolutely. We need skilled tradesmen out here. But we don't need a handyman. We got enough of them. We need a skilled tradesman, a carpenter, a guy who can read a blueprint, write a blueprint, a plumber, an electrician. Now we've got electricians out here, so my electrician friend's going to write me and say, hey, quit saying electricians, but you know what I mean. We could use some skilled tradesmen. Auto mechanics, certainly. Good auto mechanics with tools and with equipment that are willing to stay. A couple more businesses wouldn't hurt. If we had another grocery store here, another general store kind of thing, the guy we do have would have competition, and all of a sudden he wouldn't be so prone to be charging us all tourist prices year-round. We pay the same prices as the tourists, and it's rough when a guy's making 10 bucks an hour to buy his food from the local store. It's not much better up in Alpine. Alpine's 130 miles away, and that's another thing. It brings me to one more issue, and that's what I call the hidden tax out here. So to recap a little bit, if you want to come out here, if you want to live off-grid and buy, you know, that's the whole purpose to my 150 videos, is to teach people how to live off-grid sustainably and at a one-planet lifestyle. I want you to learn that. I want you to do it. What I don't want you to do is get fired from your 10th job this year, borrow 20 bucks from your family, fill up the gas tank, load up your family, and come down here hoping to live out of your truck. The odds are you'll fail. Make a plan, have a plan, stick to the plan, get here with money, look at your property, make a separate trip here, find land, look at the land, see how far it is to the road, to the main road. Don't be thinking of Solitario or Cedar Springs or any of that stuff that's so remote. I'm about as remote as you can get and live a job, or work a job rather. And it was tough for me to walk that 5 miles. Oh, here's an old man. Yeah, I'm an old man. But one of you 20-somethings come out here and tangle with me, you'll find out just how old I am, and that is what it takes. It takes that to survive out here. This isn't a place to just end up and drift to because you failed everywhere else. It isn't a place that because you failed you can come to and hopefully be a handyman. It takes skills. Living off the grid is a wave of the future. Growing food aquaponically or hydroponically, that is the farming of the future. I'm going to do it out here. But as you've seen, I've spent 8 years doing a hell of a lot. And that's what it takes. It takes that motivation. It doesn't take somebody that fills up their gas tank and drives out here in hopes of maybe, possibly, perhaps finding a job. And oh yeah, I'm going to open an art gallery 15 miles up the road in Solitario. Well, the only people that'll ever visit your art gallery will be the odd illegal coming across the border, and even they can't make it here. They come here, and they'll come up to the homes, and they'll go, immigra, immigra, immigra. They want you to make the call because they can't cross this desert. This is a tough desert to live in. We want new people to come here. Now, I know my friend Tony's watching this going, no, 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 slam the door. No, America wasn't built by slamming the door, and we're starting to find that out now. We're coming up on 10 months of this slam the door stuff. We didn't build this country by slamming the door. We built this country by creating opportunities and having opportunities. But the people that took advantage of those opportunities were motivated and skilled. And if they didn't have skills, they learned. I didn't have a lot of the skills it took to build this place when I got here, but I learned. And I had family backing me if I needed them, and I never needed them, but they were there, and I knew that. My back wasn't dead against the wall where, you know, I was going to starve to death. I needed skills, and I brought skills here. One thing I had was I was a skilled truck driver. We only had one or two truck driving jobs in the area, and luckily I got one of them. But I brought skills with me. I could have been a handyman. I could have been a carpenter. I did work in the mines. That's how I got injured, but that was because I'm old and the equipment was bad, but mostly because I'm old. Come here. Live off-grid. Living off-grid is a way to go. Save the planet. But don't come here on a wing and a prayer because your prayer won't be answered. And with that, my friends, this is Robert Earl out here at the Eco Ranch in Far West, Texas, wishing you all the best, which will come to you if you prepare.